Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's YunKs. Today, I'll be showing you guys the Fabian Strategy. This is an exotic auto rifle, and this is for the Titan only. In order to get this weapon, you are going to have to hit rank 3 with the gunsmith, of course, with your Titan, and you're going to have to do a small, simple little quest line, and it's really easy, guys. Anyway, I will be quickly going over what perks are on this thing and what perks I like to run. So, crowd control is automatically granted on the Fabian Strategy. Kills with this weapon grant bonus damage for a short time. Okay, not a bad perk whatsoever. Moving on to our sights here. Smooth ballistics. Okay, I personally like to go with CQB ballistics. It will increase my stability but reduce my range, but that reduced range isn't too much of a problem, and I will explain why in just a second, guys. And I do want to mention linear compensator does appear to increase your impact, and I will talk about this a little more in the gameplay here. Now moving on to life support. Kills with this weapon while critically wounded have a chance to start regenerating health. This is a really good perk, guys. Not bad at all. Moving on to our middle perks. Flared magwell. Reload this weapon even faster. Lightweight +2 agility. And rifle barrel. Increase range, slower reload. And rifle barrel here is definitely my way to go, and it will compensate for that loss of impact from the CQB ballistics, which gave me that extra stability. Alright, not bad, guys. Anyway, moving on to front lines. This is the last and main perk. This weapon has increased handling, stability, and rate of fire when enemies are close, and of course I will talk about this more in the gameplay as well. And this is a very unique perk right here. Anyway, let's take a look at the aesthetics, guys. Alright, looks pretty cool. I like how there's these two things in the front of the gun, kind of like a barrier of some sort. And I do want to mention the rate of fire and impact here is the same as the Monte Carlo, so it does shoot similar to a Monte Carlo when it comes to rate of fire and impact. Anyway, guys, let's get right into the gameplay. So the very first thing I did with the Fabian Strategy was bring it to the Ultra Knight here on the Dreadnought to see how fast I could possibly put him down. Now here, yes, the front lines perk was active. I kept those acolytes alive, and I got that additional rate of fire, and it took me 11 seconds to put him down using 2.5 mags in each headshot, dealing 303 damage. Now I did try to test this without using the front lines perk, but while you weaken the Ultra Knight, enemies do spawn and they will swarm you, which will automatically activate the front lines perk, which made it very difficult, so I just kept it at that. And I did come back to the Ultra Knight to see how much damage I would do to his head, and I did 379 damage to his head without the front lines perk. So yes, guys, you do get a decrease in impact when that rate of fire does come up. It doesn't say it in the perks, but it does, and that is very unfortunate. But anyway, guys, we're moving right along to PvP, and I know I am late into this, but the Fabian Strategy will deal 20 damage to the head and 16 damage to the body, and that is without the front lines perk active. With the front lines perk active, however, you will deal 16 damage to the head and 13 damage to the body, and it's gonna feel a lot like you're shooting a Doctrine of Passing with that high rate of fire. Now, of course, this all depends on what range you're at. If you're too far away, you will definitely not get these numbers. This is an auto rifle, and it is meant for close range combat, medium at most. The damage drop off on this thing is at a fairly close distance, so try to stay in tight, closed in areas, especially if you want to utilize that front lines perk to get that high rate of fire. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the crowd control perk on this weapon. This will activate after you get a kill, and it only lasts 3 seconds. I know, a very short time, guys, but anyway, you will deal 23 damage to the head and 18 damage to the body. That is without the front lines perk active. So that is with the crowd control perk, without the front lines perk active. Now, if you do have the front lines perk active and you're close to an enemy, you will deal 18 damage to the head and 15 damage to the body with that higher rate of fire. Alright, guys, now let's talk about the linear compensator sight on this weapon. It does appear to increase our impact just a little bit, and I have tested this in the Crucible, and I did not get any number change, any number increase at all when it comes to headshots or body shots while using the linear compensator sight with the Fabian Strategy. So I wouldn't worry too much about that sight, guys. Anyway, enough of the numbers. Let's talk a little bit about how I felt while using the Fabian Strategy in the Crucible. Now, obviously, guys, this is not the best exotic in the game or the most used, but I must say I still had a ton of fun with this auto rifle. It really felt like I was using two weapons all in one, and I was putting enemies down fairly easily. And I must say, if you use this in the right situations and you learn to control that recoil, this can definitely be one beast of an auto rifle. Anyway guys, leave in the comments and let me know, do you have a Fabian Strategy? And if you do, what do you think of it? Do you use it for PvE or do you use it for PvP? I could see this auto rifle being used in both situations. Now, do you guys think it is worth that exotic slot? Personally, I think there are other auto rifles out there that can do the same type of work as this one can, not necessarily adapting to their environment like the Fabian Strategy can, but definitely auto rifles that can put enemies down easily and quickly without taking that exotic slot. For that reason, I do not think Fabian Strategy is the most efficient use of your exotic slot, but I do still think this is a very unique and fun to use weapon, no doubt guys. Anyway, that's really it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video and sub for the support. I'd highly appreciate it.